Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now I'm going to be covering the Golf Clash Deep Sea Tournament. This is a 9-hole cup out of Dormar Links. So this is going to be the Rookie Division qualifying round. Overall, shot really well today, so I've got a lot of drop shots to cover with you. If you're not a subscriber, please become one. That would be awesome. And then secondly, if you like the videos, please take a moment to hit the thumbs up. All right. Let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 9 gives us a nice little rough bump opportunity for the eagle. As long as we hit perfect, this shot is pretty darn consistent. I'm going to go 4.5 bars of top spin, 1 bar a side spin to the left on the drive, and we're pulling this one 10% at max. You'll see here I put the yellow ring on the rough. This is essentially almost the exact same wind angle that I showed you on the refresher video that I put up a few days ago. So this one is playing pretty much exactly like that. Shot number 1 is at 10%. Shot number 2 is playing a minus 20% at mid, which you will see right here. Minus 20% at mid. And then here, depending on the strength of your long iron, like on the Goliath number 6 here, you see I go with 2 bars at top, no side. Higher level Goliaths, it'll be a little bit less top spin. Basically, you just want to make sure your ball guideline is to and through the hole. I like the Goliath here because it allows us for a very small ring pull. You see this is only about 1 ring. We hit a perfect ball. And as long as you hit perfect, this one was dropping very nicely. You see here it comes in just a little bit on the left-hand side of the cup. So be careful, on that. But that's hole number 1. That'll take us to hole number 2. Hole number 2 is a little bit more difficult to drop, but we're very, very close here, and I have some ideas of what you need to do to get it to drop. We're going to go with 3 bars of backspin combined with 1 bar of side spin to the left with a navigator ball. The most important thing here is going to be getting the landing position correct and duplicated exactly where I am landing at. So you're going to see here, let me kind of back this up just a little bit. You can see here which green square that I'm aiming on. Basically, it's directly in the middle of this light green square. You see I have a dark green square to my left and a dark green square to my right. Looks like I'm aiming basically directly right in the middle of that one. And the shot that you're going to see here, again, was pulled at 20% elevation. So 2 things you can do. You can change this to 30%. So you could add 10 extra percent to this shot. And when you do that with a backbone in rookie, it's typically going to add about 0.2 to your adjustments. As you can see here, I'm going to miss barely to the left-hand side. So if we add 10% elevation there, it adds 0.2 ring pull to the right-hand side, which means had I done that on this shot, theoretically, it should have been a hole-in-one. Or you can just offset this shot a little bit more to the right. I like to go ahead and change the elevation to 30% on this hole. I would play it 30% at mid, and you should be very close to getting that ball to drop. Not a guarantee, as hole number 2 is a difficult drop, but that gives us a really good starting point and some good ideas of what to do. That'll take us to hole number 3. Hole number 3, we're going to go ahead and play with our quarterback. Now, you see here, I'm going to go no moving target. That means I'm just going to keep my target exactly where the game gives me. Now, on a quarterback 10, we've got a little bit of extra top spin. So you're going to see here, 2 bars of side spin to the right with the Titan. And here we went 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4.8 bars of top spin. That is too much. Because keep in mind, this wind here is only 3 miles an hour. That's on the lower end of the scale. If you were to get hit with 4.5 miles or, somewhere in the 4s, you could roll a little bit too long into the rough. I would like to cap our quarterback top spin on this shot at, 4 to 4.5 bars of top. That's where we want to be. Now, ultimately, this is a great shot. If we could get the ball to stop here every time, that's going to help us with shot number 2. But I also don't want you to push it too hard and accidentally roll into the rough. Second shot, you need to bring your most powerful wood club. For me here, it's going to be the big dog. As you can see, I'm going 1 bar of top spin combined with 2 bars of side spin to the right. The biggest thing is take a look at my landing spot. yellow ring on the rough line on this little circle patch of fairway, but notice that my second bounce is not on the fringe and it's not on the green. That's why I'm using 1 bar of topspin. If you're aiming a little bit higher and your second bounce is closer to the green or the fringe, remember we're going to want to reduce the topspin a little bit because the big dog doesn't have a good ball guideline and you could go a little bit long. Here, this shot is very close to an albatross. I was all over the pin on my accounts here. You'll notice I'm going to curl until the right edge of my ball is just breaking the blue adjustment zone. So it's just breaking that blue zone. Hit a perfect ball. You know, we don't know what the consistency is going to look like, but very, very close to the albatross here on hole number 3. Definitely not an easy hole to pick up an alba on either, especially when you're taking that shot with the big dog. But some of you might get it, and that would be really awesome if you do. We're going to go hole number 4. Now, hole number 4, this is probably the best wind angle we can get on this hole. I am going to be playing a rough bump. The rough bump is super consistent. If you hit perfect and adjust right, you're going to be very close to the hole-in-one, in which you'll see here. I did pick up 2 hole-in-ones on this hole. Now, if you're not confident in your rough bump abilities, practice round is a great way to perfect it. This is just a 9-hole cup too. Heck, just go for it. You know, try to get better at rough bumps because this is really the best way to drop shots in this game. The rough deadens the ball. You get a nice, good, consistent roll. You could back this up here and play the bounce over shot. That would be safe. This is a great wind angle to pick up a hole-in-one that way as well, but this is the easiest way to get the ace, as long as you adjust correctly. 2 top, 1 bar of side spin to the left. With my backbone 10 here, I'm going to the +1 yard mark, and you can notice here I've got most of my yellow ring in the rough, just a little bitty ounce of it there in the fairway. And almost the bottom part of my yellow ring is right up against the sand line. Now you're going to notice this shot is only 2.2 miles per hour, which is the absolute lowest we can get in rookie with a wind resistance 2 ball like we're playing with here. This shot did go dead center. Now you're going to see another hole-in-one, as typically when I pick up multiple drops in different wind strengths, I try to show you that. Now this one's on the higher scale, so we went from the lowest scale to the higher side of the scale. Again, we're going to go with 1 bar of side spin to the left, and then I'm going to add my top spin here to get this right. So even in the higher wind, I still went with 2 top, and I still went with 1 bar of side spin to the left. I'm basically trying to find that same type of landing zone with a little bit of my yellow rough, or my yellow rind in that fairway, but most of it in the rough. The exact same adjustment here as far as elevation goes and distance of my club. So again, we dropped it in 2.2 mile per hour wind. We dropped it in 3.7 mile per hour wind. You know, I do like this shot. You see here the rough really deadens the ball, and we get 2 shots in dead center for the hole-in-one. That will take us on here to hole number 5. Hole number 5, I will show you 2 different ways to play this hole. This one's going to be for people who want to be a little bit conservative. When we get tailwind, we do have the ability to get ourselves up to the top part of the fairway here and chip in for an eagle, or we can even drive the green, which I'm going to show you to do. Here, this is the least aggressive way. We just take our Power 5 ball. You could probably pull this off with maybe a Titan 2, but you might have to go full OP on that. So here, I just make a 10% adjustment. I do not push up at all. I just play with a little bit of overpower, and again, the same type of curl to the right side of my ball breaks that blue adjustment zone. We hit the fairway, we clip the rough, and we roll out. The shot's really nice, leaving us for an easy chip-in shot for shot number 2. This is what shot number 2 looks like. So we play this one 0% at mid. And I just go full top spin, or a little bit of top spin as you see. A little bit of top spin, ball guideline to the hole, and that's in for an eagle. There's nothing to see there. Okay, now we can go for green here and get ourselves to putt in for the eagle. And if you can get this type of shot down, you're going to become a much better golf player on your drives and tour play and tournaments. I'm going to show you how to know how many rings you need to push up for a shot to be accurate, because this is a great hole to explain this on. First, we're going to set our spins. 6 top, 2 left. That's all that you need. If you're playing with an extra mile level 9, do not go more than 6 bars of top spin. So 6 top, 2 left is all you need. So we're going to set our spin first, and then we're going to start to push up into overpower. And I want you to notice something when I push up into overpower. Okay, I'm looking for my second bounce to be on the fairway, right there. You see that? That's where I want, that's how I want this shot to play. But I don't want to have to go into overpower in order to accomplish this shot. You notice when you push into overpower, I want you to look at my red ring. Look at my red target ring. Do you notice how there's like a darker line going through it? About a third of the way down from the bottom of the yellow ring. That's how we're able to gauge our overpower. So basically, what should happen here, as long as I have the elevation right and I pull my club right, I'm going to play this one 10% at max. But then after I do that, I'm going to push up 1.3 rings, because you can see here I'm 1.3 rings into overpower. The yellow ring is 1 ring, and then we're about a third of the way down into the red ring or orange ring, whatever color you want to call it. So once I make my adjustment, if I push back up 1.3 rings and I take a normal shot with no overpower, this shot should play exactly true to how I had my ball guideline, which was that second bounce hitting that fairway up there. Okay, so here you just saw I pulled my rings from my elevation. I pulled 10% at max. Now I'm going to push back up 1.3 rings. So watch what I mean. Just like that. A little bit of curl. Normal shot. You saw here no overpower at all. We're going to go bounce 1, bounce 2, and then we roll out and onto the green. So, if you've never seen that type of adjustment before, that is really how you become super accurate in the game on your drives, and that's how you're able to pull shots off like this. Don't let that scare you. This is just a 9-hole cup. If you've got berserkers and stuff like that, this is a good hole to learn that technique on, okay? Now we're going to go into hole number 6. Hole number 6, we're going to play 10% at max. You can play this one with the katana. If you have lower level extra miles, I would suggest you go ahead and pull out that Titan ball. Do not play with the Kingmaker, as we do not want to reduce the wind. We're going to go full top, and then we're going to go 2 bars of side spin to the left. Yes, if you're playing with an extra mile 9, go ahead and go full top and let this thing fly. I'm not using any overpower. I'm just taking a normal shot. I do suggest that the more yards that you can get on this drive, the easier shot number 2 is to try to drop for an albatross. We have a lot of fairway to work with here. If you want to push your drive, more power to you. I suggest that you do. But again, you don't want to hit a nasty great left or great right on this hole, because you could get stuck in the rough. Here I'm going to play this shot 10% at mid, and I'm going to fast forward until I get to the right spin adjustments, because I had to kind of move this thing around to find what I wanted to do. And this is not it. Okay. Ultimately, this is what I settle on. 3 bars of side spin to the left combined with 6 bars of backspin. Now, you're going to see here, I put my ball guideline going through the hole, because we do have a flicker of headwind, and I'm going right through the middle of the cup. I do pull this one 10% elevation. I do pull it at mid distance of my club. And you're going to see here we get very close to dropping this ball into the hole. All that we might need to do is just slightly offset this one a little bit to the left-hand side, as we just burn the right edge of the cup. Very close to that albatross on hole number 6. Take us to hole number 7. Hole number 7, again, I have a few hole-in-ones to show you, just simply because, again, this is the lowest wind. This is 2.2 miles an hour. I'm using about 1.2 bars of backspin no matter what the wind is. Notice that my setup spot here is that yellow ring on the rough line, and this is where my ball guideline is pointing to. If you kind of take note of that dark green square, you can sort of see exactly where I'm aiming. This course tends to have a little bit harder to see the green squares, but I'm trying to zoom in as much as possible to give you good looks at it. Perfect ball. And you'll see here, we drop this one to the left-hand side of the cup. That was 2.2 mile per hour wind. Now let's take again a look at the higher scale. So the game is really throwing me some different wind angles from account to account, or some wind strength, I should say. This one again is on the higher scale, but I'm going to do the same thing with the backspin. I'm trying to find that exact same landing spot to see if the ball guideline plays true, which it does seem that it does. And again, we drop it into the hole there for the hole-in-one. So the hole number 7 looks good for the hole-in-one opportunity. Takes us to hole number 8. This is also a great, way to eagle the hole. I'll show you a couple different secondary clubs to pick up the eagle with. Here we go 6 bars of top spin combined with 1 bar of side spin to the right. All right. Now, if you're playing with higher level extra miles, I really would not go full top spin. This isn't the type of shot that I like to play shot number 2 with my wedge. I would rather be in, my short iron game range. You see here I went with a little bit of overpower, but it was very controlled. Very easy shot, just kind of getting this one nicely up the fairway. Good thing is on this course we have a lot of fairway to work with. On this account, I just have the Kingfisher. I don't have a thorn or anything like that. So I'm going to go 2 bars of backspin, and I'm just going to make sure that my ball guideline is bouncing into the hole. With the Kingfisher, you don't have that great of a ball guideline, but it's pretty easy to see there that it's bouncing into the cup. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one 10% at mid-distance. I get that perfect ball, and this one bounces very nice into the hole. Now, if you're a thorn player, I've got the thorn drop here as well. Requires just a little bit more backspin, but I'm playing the same thing, 10% at mid. Same thing though, backspin, ball guideline into the hole. You just have to make sure with the thorn you don't accidentally apply too much backspin, because of course you can stop short of the hole, and then you don't want to do that. But this one rolls a little bit nicer into the cup. Hole number 8, great opportunity for an eagle. Takes us on to the last hole. Last hole, we're always going with this little trick shot here. We're going to go 6 bars of top spin combined with 1 bar of side spin to the right. Now, you're going to see here that I am going to back my driver up to the plus 12. And I'm making sure that when I back up that my ball guideline is still bouncing through these black rocks or whatever they are, and my ball guideline is at the end, is on the fairway, okay? I do know that I'm backing my target up because I do have headwind, so I want to try to pull my rings as accurately as possible without going into too much overpower. But here you see I'm using quite a bit of overpower. I'm overpowering until the bottom of my ball touches the bottom of the target zone. And more times than not, these rocks are just going to kick you out just like this, and you'll roll out onto the fairway. Now, shot number 2, you need to bring a powerful wood club. Even whenever we do take this little trick shot, it still sometimes can be a challenge to get to the green in 2. For me, I'm bringing the Horizon. A lot of people need to bring the Horizon, or you'll need to bring your big dog. Again, though, I'm backing my target up a little bit just because I know that I have headwind. I always try to pull my rings accurately rather than pulling into overpower. Only thing I needed to do on this shot was I needed to add a little bit of left curl, but at the end of the day, this one is a very difficult hole to pick up an albatross on. We kind of play it for the eagle as, if you're like in a tier 1 or tier 2 bracket, you're going to see quite a few players mess this hole up and pick up a birdie. So as long as you pick up the eagle, you might be gaining a shot on a lot of the field. Tier 3 rookie players, you're going to have to pick up this eagle in order to compete, because most people will. So that's it. I will see you all on Saturday for the final round. Thanks, everybody.